Do you feel the vibes?
Welcome back to Omagic's Kitchen, and I'm Fred Omagic, as you might have forgot from last time, just down there. Today I thought we'd look at doing an old favourite, but not too much of an old one, a pie, a big pie today. We're going to do a steak and mushroom pie. This is a little bit my take on this pie. The first thing we've got to do is we cook up some steaks, and or you can use leftover steak from the night before, whatever. You could use roast if you had a roast meat of any sort, but any sort of steak you like. Today we're using rump steak, which we just cooked before, and I think we've got some of that. You saw that before, and these have cooled down now, like we said, so they've rested for a while. But we need to start by chopping up some of our other ingredients as well. And so we're going to have steak and mushroom, like I said, but I'd like to put a little bit more into that. This time I'm going to put a little bit of carrot in there as well, because carrot and mushroom I've found does go reasonably well together. But just a little bit of carrot, we don't want to take in too much away from the mushroom, but just so we've got a little bit of vegetable in there as well. Mushrooms being close to a steak, as in a protein, I just feel that the pie needs a little bit of something else, and I don't want to put celery or other things in that are going to be too overpowering. So I could do that as well, then it'd be a vegetable pie. We're not making a vegetable pie. So we'll get on with now, and the first thing we're going to do really is chop our steak. So we'll get on with that, and we're just going to do that by hand. And speaking of hands, we did wash our hands just before, and always make sure you wash your hands. So I'll cut this up quickly. Like I said, this smells pretty good. I bought this morning, and this is very fresh, in fact. So today we're using fresh steak, but like I said, we could use leftovers of any sort, and I imagine you could do the same with lamb if you wanted to, lamb and mushroom, but I think steak goes better with, so mushroom goes better with steak, I think. That's personal. It's up to yourself. And you can adjust these ingredients a little bit as you like. You don't have to put the carrot in if you don't want to, or you could put more vegetables in. It's up to you. But definitely the steak's got to go in and the mushrooms have got to go in. We'll talk about the mushrooms in just a second, once we get this cracking. So you want these in fairly small pieces, because remember it's going into a pie, and the smallest pieces that I can make is still going to be a chunky pie. Okay. And I think that's pretty good, right? So they've got to go into a pan, and we've got to cook this again. Not really cook it, but we've just got to bring it all together in a pan before it goes into our pastry department. So that's wrong way around. Put that there. Get some of this going. Now that's the end of the carrot. Discard that so you get a nice fresh cut. Now, like I said, I don't want too much, but I'm just going to make a little bit. Put that there. And these, I'm just going to cut these into little bits, like that. Watch your fingers, of course. Alright. Okay. Like that. Don't be too fussy. Alright, just little bits. And when you finish, count all your fingers. See, there's 5, so we're right. Okay? And wash my hands there. So now, we've got to bring together in a cup some butter. We're going to boil the kettle, just need a little hot water to melt the butter. We're going to make our sauce. Okay? So about a teaspoon of butter. We need wait for some warm water, and we put our, at this point we can put our pepper and salt in here. So some nice ground pepper. Working very well. Another one of these. That's our salt. Rock salt. Alright. And some herbs. Herbs and spices. Just herbs really. Not so much spices, just the mixed herbs. Okay. And just waiting for that. It's probably hot enough. Now I only want a little bit of that in there. And that's really just to melt the butter. Just so I can start to put some milk in, which is going to go next. Yep. I'll grab a wooden spoon out of here, and you can move that, start to get that cracking. And once that's melted a little bit, we want some cheese in here as well. Now we would normally have cream, but we don't have any cream, so if you haven't got cream, just put some cheese in. Okay? And we put cheese in anyway sometimes, but we might put a little bit extra because we haven't got any cream. So I'm going to use milk, and sometimes it asks for milk, water, cream. It doesn't say anything about cheese, so we're going to use the cheese. I always have cheese, and because I haven't got any cream, we're not going to put the milk, the water in. We're just going to use straight milk. So it almost equals the same thing. Okay, so that's ready. Alright. I'm not trying to melt the cheese. I'll be here for all day to melt that. That'll melt inside the pie, but I just wanted the butter to melt in a little bit first. And just fill that up a bit. Alright, now we also need in here some corn flour and gravy as our thickener, obviously. So in here we've got a corn flour and gravy mix. So it's already mixed 50-50 in here. So I make my gravy like this in other dishes if I'm cooking on the stove, and I like corn flour in my gravy 50-50, so I just start my gravy straight from this like a base. So we can use the same thing for our pie. So I'd say about three of those pretty heaped. And that is 1.5 gravy, 1.5 corn flour is what that would equal, or 2 each for this pie. Okay, and that's another reason why we need to cook this now in the pan to explode the flour, meaning that the flour content and the gravy has to activate. So we need some heat to do that first. And I want to do all that in here. Put it in the pan now. You can't see that properly, but I'll bring it over. I've poured that in. Get those lovely herbs out of the bottom. Okay. Now, we've got to turn the stove on now. Behind me. A steady heat. So just down a bit, it's going to cook for a moment in here. We're really just bringing this up to boil. Okay, now while we're waiting for that, we might start with our pastry, our pan. I'm just going to check the pastry over here because we're just pouring this out. And it's just about ready. Okay, so pretty much on target. We'll take these off now, just to get some more. We want them to be very pliable. Needs another minute or so. So in the meantime, we'll spray our pan over here. Now you can use butter and wipe around or whatever, but we've got a sprayer today, so we're going to spray the pan to stop it sticking. And that's nice and coated. Okay, now remember we were making the pastry, so we'll get on with that. And this is now ready. I had to let it sit for a minute because it wasn't quite thawed. Now I need to explain that this is puff pastry from the freezer, which you can buy in your local supermarket. No need to mention brands, I guess. Now, so we've thawed ours out over here, and I've got another piece for the top there thawing. You do need 2 pieces, depending on the size of your pan, but that would be ideal. And I don't know if you saw the pan before, which I showed you. You've got to arrange this in here in such a way that it fits in. And don't worry about if it's not exactly perfect, because the top will come on and fix up any flaws. That's not right. Okay, so really just making a bowl in the bottom. That's pretty good actually. So I can show you that. So we've got a nice bowl. I'm not worried about the edges at this stage. It's not even, that's fine because the top will come and fix that up. But we don't want any holes down the bottom. Alright, that's my bowl. So now this is ready over here, so turn it off. And remember we were stirring our mixture. It just looks like a stew at this point, which is really what you're making for inside the pie. And this is half gravy, half Mornay type. And at this point though, I think we do need to put our main ingredient in, and that's our mushrooms now. Now, because our mushrooms are frozen, we don't need to cook them very much. So I'm going to grab those now, and we'll put some of those in. We'll talk a bit more about that. I'll get some of these out. Something's going to fall in there, don't worry. Right. Now these mushrooms are frozen, which we picked from our garden outside earlier on in the year, in mushroom season. So you can freeze mushrooms, and we've got heaps and heaps of them. We can't use that many, so we freeze them. And when you freeze mushrooms, they will come back out a little bit juicy. So the idea is that in a dish like this, it doesn't even matter. So we're using them for soups and dishes like this, or you could have them on toast. You just need to fry them out a bit more, that's all. And put a few extras in because they're going to shrink. They're going to be very shrunken because they've been frozen. Okay? But it's a cheap and easy way of storing mushrooms. So that's probably enough. So I've got a handful. Thaw them out under hot water, just quickly. Or a half thaw. And then we just chop these up a little bit. As you can see, they're still a bit frozen. You need these in quickly. Probably should have had these in a little bit earlier, but it doesn't matter because, like I said, mushrooms don't take much to cook. And these are very, very strong because they're homegrown. So very strong flavours, so we don't need too many. You can put as many mushrooms as you like in. If you're using supermarket mushrooms, I'd probably put a few extras in. Now at this point you need to test your food as well. Just have a taste. I use a different spoon for 2 reasons. I'm not going to use that one. And this is a cold spoon, that's hot, so the temperature will be right. Perfect. Crikey. That's pretty good. Now we're going to put this in here. Just pour it in like that. And we put our top on over here. So basically I'm going to put this opposite to the other corners. Whoops, there, like that. And we just tuck that around. Okay. Now I'm not a pastry chef. I think I've mentioned this before in my other shows. Hence why we buy our frozen pastry, and we're very, very rustic over here. Okay, so you don't have to be a pastry chef at home either. You just need to follow these simple instructions, and it can't get any simpler than this. And that is pretty much ready. I'm going to cut the sides off in a second. Just make sure that goes down there. Yeah, this should be good. And we get a knife. Where's the knife? Here it is. So basically we're just going to cut those sides off. It's very, very rustic, remember. Like that. Cut that round. It was coming up a bit, so cut that through there a bit. Make sure it doesn't come up. Round. Yes, there's a little bit of waste here, but that's okay. We won't worry about that. You can't have that dagging off like that because it'll burn on the outside. So you have to do this. Plus, it looks nice. And if you want to, you can just cut a few of these, or even just one, in the centre. Put that in the middle, and you've got to poke some holes, let the air out, don't forget to do that. And if you want to, you can make an egg wash, which we'll just do now. And I'll use the same cup that I used before. I had to put a little bit of water into that mixture before, by the way. You might need to do that if it gets a bit thick. So there's our egg wash. I'm just going to put a little bit of that in there. On it with a spoon is fine. And if you had a brush, ideally you'd use a brush, of course. But as I told you before, I'm not a pastry chef. And if you're not a pastry chef, you use a spoon. Okay. Now I reckon that's ready to go in the oven. Now we turned our oven on before to 180 degrees, which I should have told you to do before. But that's okay. 180 degrees, and whacked it in for about 30 minutes. And now, through the magic of film, it's ready. So grab your mittens and I'm going to need them both. Oh, look at that. There we go. Straight out of the oven. Look at that. Oh my god, look how hot it is. It's still sizzling. I think we'll just let it sit for a second. Right, so it's cool enough now to cut up, and it's still very hot though, so look at that. The idea is to cut big pieces like that. Pre-cut it, don't just try and take it out. Remember, it's a family pie, and you've got to cut it out. It's still going to be very sloppy, that's fine. We're not worried about that. Okay. Oh, look at that. There we go. There's one piece. Here comes another piece. If we're lucky. Not very lucky. There we are. Right. Okay. Look, I'm going to try this now. Thanks for watching Omagic's Kitchen, and I'm Fred Omagic, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy. Bit of pastry. Wow. Oh, that's great. That's very, very nice.